Okay, let's talk time blocking. I love time blocking. I think this is one of the best ways to actually get yourself to get work done. Because if you have all day to do three tasks, most people are going to wait the entire day to do it. But if you give yourself a short amount of time to complete one task, the likelihood you will get that done is so much higher. Now, time blocking in general is a thought process, right? But you're going to have to do this a little bit differently depending on what season you're in. So, whether you're a stay at home mom with a business, if you are a full time CEO, or if you are someone who's working a 9 to 5 and building on the side, time blocking will look a little bit different. So, I'm going to go through those step by step. I'm going to start with stay at home mom, move on to the full time CEO, and then the 9 to 5 plus business. That way you can kind of skip down in case you want to go to your specific season. Okay. So on the screen here, you're going to see just a very general calendar for a stay at home mom, plugging in nap times. I am plugging in some of my workouts that are definitely going to be a priority. And you'll see here that I have all of my calendars as actually separate calendars versus just color coding. This is so that you can share calendars with your village depending on the specific part of your calendar. So, for example, my husband has access to my business calendar. So we can see when all my meetings are, if I have an interview or a late meeting. But he doesn't have access to my self care calendar because he doesn't need to know when I'm getting my nails done. So you can kind of pick and choose what you're sharing with different people. Um, okay, so in here, like I said, naps are in here, and then I've got workouts, those are priorities. Maybe I don't have anything else that's really structured right now, but any non negotiables are going to go in here in our Friday reset, which we'll talk about later in this system series. But what you want to do first is really schedule out your golden hour. So, like we talked about in the last section, this is going to be the hour of time that you are most confident you're going to be able to have time to do things, and you're actually most awake, alive, and ready to get things done. For me, that is very early in the morning, like 5 to 7 o'clock in the morning. I am ready to go. That might not be an option for you. Maybe your kid's an early waker. Maybe your kid wakes up early. I don't know if that's a word. But you can move this around. So let's say this first nap time is almost always a great nap. Maybe that's your golden hour. Maybe it needs to be after bedtime and it's, 8 to 9 or 9 to 10. Whatever that looks like most consistently for you, you are going to want to set that in. Okay. Now, for stay at home moms, you're going to be mostly task based because you're just trying to get things done around when your kids are doing stuff, right? So, tasks are going to look a little bit different. They're going to sit here at the very top. You can press it here, go from event to task, outline your task. Now, the thing that keeps it here at the top as a running task list is that I don't add a time to it. So, let's say I'm going to add my task, and it just sits there on top. So, batching 5 scripts, I'm going to try to get done throughout the day today. But let's say I get 3 of those 5 done, totally fine. And I'm going to edit it, change that to, I got 3 of them done. So I have 2 left, 2 scripts and captions, and then move that over to Tuesday. And if you just don't get any of it done and all of 5 are still left, it will automatically roll from Monday to Tuesday as it moves to the next day. So you're really going to focus on tasks here because you're only going to have so many blocked hours a day, really. But you definitely want to block out your golden hours and any other non negotiables ahead of time. That's what you're going to be discussing with your village. So, like this 9 or 8 to 9 a.m. batch record on Sunday, talking to my husband, I need that time to batch record. You have the kids. I'm going to set that in as a non negotiable. Okay, now let's go over to the full time CEO, a little bit more flexibility here. But once again, you've got your non negotiables in here. I've got some podcast interviews, client onboarding, my workouts, some of the kids' baseballs and school parties. All of those are being added in on the Friday before. And then when you get to the day of, this is when you're really talking about what you're going to do in terms of your priority 3. Remember those 3 things that move the needle forward, right? So I'm blocking out my entire day the day of versus trying to block everything out this full week. So as the week goes on, every day is going to look more and more like Monday with my tasks specifically blocked out for that day. And once again, if for whatever reason this doesn't get done, I'm just going to move it right over to the next day because I can already easily time block that and just move that straight over. Now, here, what you're going to see is some more communication in terms of like who's dropping off the kids. So, Monday through Wednesday, I'll do drop off, but I need my husband to drop off Thursday and Friday because I need to get this client onboarding done. Those are all conversations happening ahead of time. Now, you could still have some tasks in here where you're doing tasks day to day. Maybe you have a couple of things that you just need to have running. But in the actual time blocking section, you're going to take those tasks and put them into a time block as your week moves on. Okay, now for the 9 to 5 plus business, you can see here that I put the work schedule in there. I have lunch hours open, we have mornings open, we have evenings open, and weekends. Realistically, you're going to have some overflow into either mornings or evenings and weekends when you're in this season of life, and that's okay. It's short term. So, what you're going to see here is that your priorities might land around lunchtime, in the evening, or in the early morning. Make sure you're setting in your golden hours and as non-negotiables. But it's really the same thought process. You're batching in those hours where you have empty space, knowing that you have some non-negotiables here that include your 9 to 5 work job at this time. One thing I love doing is that, when we go to church on Sundays, I know that I'm getting ready. So I have a batch record session before church because I'm already ready to go. I have everything scripted. I have everything like ready to go to film. I film it all in like 30 to 45 minutes and then we go to church. Easy, kind of like a two birds with one stone kind of a thought process. And my husband knows about this every week. So you're kind of seeing how you're going to fluctuate day to day. Again, these things can move. It didn't happen on Tuesday. I ended up working late. I'm going to move it to Wednesday. Very easy. And then same thing with the task list, they will just continuously roll over. In this season, you definitely have to have a lot of grace with yourself because things are going to get moved. You are going to have to push things off. They're not going to get done every single day the way that you want them to. But the best thing is that it's getting done and you're moving in the right direction. All right. I think that's it for time blocking. I talked a little bit about batching content, so we're going to talk about that in the next video.